Hey guys, how's it going? This is Khan, Mr. So Real, and welcome to another episode of the State of the Game for the Division. This is going to be for August the 31st, 2017. This video is coming out a little bit late, and I do apologize for that. But just as a little bit of a disclaimer and a heads up, I'm no longer on vacation, so I'm back to my usual work schedule. And the State of the Game for me in Japan usually comes out say about midnight to a little bit after midnight, and they usually wrap up closer to like 12:30 or 1 o'clock. So it's usually kind of hard for me to get that information and then package it, and then the next day, in the morning I got to go to work. So these kinds of things will be coming out a little bit later than they have been the past month where I was off. So just kind of bear with me. If you guys do want to continue to support the channel, be sure to hit that like button and all that other stuff. I've actually woken up at 4 o'clock in the morning to try to get this video out to you guys, just so if my voice sounds a little bit strange, that's probably why. Now, what we're going to do this time, because there is a huge chunk of video that is going to be in this State of the Game that I wanted to leave in there so that you guys can see it completely and you guys can hear from the devs how things are shaping up. That is going to be at the end of the latter end of the video. But before we get there, I want to go over some of the things they talked about before they got to that section. And then I'm going to give a kind of recap of what is going to be in that video, some small little spoilers, but nothing too much. You'll still be able to enjoy it and learn some other things. I'm not covering every little thing, but most of the, I guess, kind of bullet points for what is going to happen. So why don't we get started with that? Okay, so first getting started, the retroactive commendation bug where people weren't getting their commendations for some retroactive things, that bug has been fixed. The RPM glitch, they are aware of it. There is a fix for it, but it does need to be tested. So before they can deploy it, it will need to be tested. So wait a little bit before that is out. They said very clearly and adamantly that if you do use the glitch, the RPM glitch, you will be banned. So be careful about that. And they are making a point to be very serious about it. And it's not just talk, according to them. The bolt action jamming issue, they do have something that they're working on for it, but they are saying that it will need to be a client side fix, which means that it's going to take a little while for that to come out. And then when it actually does come out, we'll need to download something and then it'll be fixed, hopefully. The next thing is that masks, the way that the masks have been deployed, that is going to be changed, but I'll get to that a little bit later. And then they said that if you missed out on your mask or you didn't get a mask and you thought you were going to, you may want to check the vendor upstairs. I did make a video on where to find the mask just in case you got lost, and you can go ahead and check that out if you are lost. But if you missed out on a mask or you thought you deserved another reward, you may want to check that out. It is upstairs. The global events will be about 1 to 2 weeks later than they had planned. And this weekend, there is a named NPC double bonus drop. So you can run around in the dark zone or the light zone, or pretty much, I think, any other mission or anywhere where there should be some named enemies and get double the amount of drops. So be on the lookout for that. Now, another thing that they addressed was that the 5- and 6-piece bonuses that you could see at the recal station, that is a bug and it is a total placeholder. It is not intended, and some of those bonuses will be reworked. So don't kind of treat them as gospel. They are going to be changed. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now, the next thing that I guess we should get into is the developers at Red Storm's I guess description of the new modes that are coming with 1.8. So I have a little video of that, and we'll let them explain what 1.8 is going to have and what it's all about.
Well, Resistance is the Division's take on Horde mode, if we just wanted to be straight up.
Blunt. I love it.
Yeah, just straight in.
To the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And designed to be highly replayable and available for the casual player, right? But also the ultimate test for our most devoted player base.
So I'm sure
it's the new activity that just doesn't give up. It will keep coming at you.
Cool. I'm sure we'll get into some specific questions soon, but the first one I have is, so you can play it solo?
You sure can.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's awesome. So it scales and all of that. Yes, okay, cool. Top level of skirmish, what is that?
Skirmish is, I think, what we've all wanted, right?
For a very long
4v4 based PvP.
With no AI.
Yeah. Custom built maps, and nice, short, fast, fun.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's intense.
So less running, more fighting?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, it's all about the combat.
All right, that's perfect. All right.
All right, so the next point that I wanted to bring up before we get into the video section, this is just going to be a bit of the bullet points, so things you can look out for that they will talk about, so that you guys know what to look out for when you watch the video and listen. There are 2 new zones. Of course, we've talked about the west side pier. There's new dynamic spawning in the new zones. There are more story info in the audio logs that will be in these new zones. You'll have to explore a little bit to find some of these things, so that should keep it fresh. There will be a lot of new places for you to explore. Division Tech will be a thing again. Division Tech will be used for re-rolling. Mass will no longer be associated with the leaderboards and will be more with the global event commendations. There will be changes to hipfire in 1.8. Going rogue and hunting rogues will be more rewarding. More balancing of weapons. Exotics are getting looked at individually. LMGs are going to get a buff. Flat weapon damage bonus talents are going to be changed, and they're going to be more of a percentage based off of weapon damage and not just a flat buff. And classified gear sets will be coming out before and after 1.7. There will also be new exotics in 1.7, and we can expect to see a PTS sometime this month in September. So that's pretty much the bullet points for the video that's coming up. It's going to be a bit of a long video, so if you don't have the time, you can always stop it and pause it. And as always, if you'd like to see the stream in its entirety, you can always go over to Massive's Division page on Twitch and check it out there, and you can see it completely unedited with everything they have. And yeah, that'll pretty much about do it. I'll let this run out, and then I'll see you guys in the next one. I guess I need to get ready to make Good or Garbage, the vendor reset video, so I'll see you guys in a little bit. Take it easy. Have a great weekend. Thanks you guys for all the support, and I will catch you later. Peace.
Also in this build, you will see some of the icons on the map are not accurate. For example, some activities don't have difficulties like the map may tend towards. But this is where we are, the new zone. All right, so northwest of where people have been playing, right?
Yep. This is where the new spaces are for skirmish. We have activities that are going to draw players up and around, all around the space for exploration.
Okay.
And that's when you'll get jumped by all the dynamic, awesome spawning.
Yes.
We're actually going to be feeding players something called alerts. So
right.
Shade will be delivering alerts to you constantly, and there'll be alerts in the north and alerts in the south. And that really drives, let's say, the loop of exploration and gameplay.
Yeah, I'm actually super excited about these just because every time you come in, they will be in different locations. You might have slightly different objectives, and on top of that, you know, the combat's different because all the actual AI spawning is dynamic.
Right. Sometimes the AI that spawn, they'll be absolutely aware of you and they will get right on you, and sometimes they won't, and you'll have an opportunity to surprise them.
So I see people in chat talking about it, and they're asking, like, is there a new incursion? There is not a new incursion in 1.8, but while there is no new incursion, and there's a lot of activities in the open world, there is narrative elements. So yes, I talked about that with Tony yesterday. Tony's the other Redstorm. Tony's a producer, right, on your side?
The man.
The man.
Yes.
The one.
Yep.
The Sturzel. So we were going through it yesterday, and there's some interesting narrative in there. I don't want to spoil things for people, but there's a whole chunk of audio logs that...
Yes, I'm glad you don't want to spoil it. There's a lot, in fact.
Yes.
A lot of continuation and explanation. But you have to explore West Side Piers to find out what that is.
Yes. Probably more than people realize. Anyway.
Yeah.
But so we kind of saw the Intrepid just before.
That's beautiful.
Yannick's looking at it right now. That big battleship thing's called the Intrepid.
Aircraft carrier.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
I said battleship. I didn't mean it.
That's all right.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. I'm glad I had someone here to keep me accurate.
We'll just fact check you.
All right. So what's going to happen on the Intrepid, guys? Can we talk about that?
So you do a few things around that area. So, most of this open world is totally free for you to explore, right? And then some areas are built specifically for the gameplay of skirmish and resistance. So actually getting inside and going through the belly of the Intrepid is something that you'll do as you explore deeper into the resistance game mode.
Okay, cool. Very cool. All right, that's cool. So we're heading up on the west side. What's kind of the next area that we'll come across with Tony? Tony could lead Yannick anywhere. I'm really not sure where we're going to go.
Yeah. Well, the POIs that we dropped inside the West Side Piers are extensive, and of course we used the same, recreation that we did in the whole game. So you can imagine that if there's a POI or something fancy that you would expect to be there in real life, you're going to see it in West Side Piers. There are 3 main spaces that we built for
the totally new gameplay for skirmish and resistance.
Okay.
And so Intrepid is the one nearest to Camp Clinton. And
as you move a little bit further north, you kind of go out onto the piers and you're kind of down by the water. It's really kind of a cool new environment. Lots of shipping containers and cool kind of ins and outs. And then as you move further all the way north, you kind of start exploring the subterranean areas of West Side Piers.
stuff underneath. I like subterranean, that's a good word.
So Tony took me around a couple of areas, and I'm interested to see if he takes Yannick there today. There was I saw a car wash.
Oh yeah.
Yes, there's a car wash.
What's the car wash? I don't know if we're going to see that.
Yeah, I think they're heading over there.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're going to go
all right.
there. My favorite, not to distract from the car wash, but there's actually a club.
Yeah,
Can we go to the
that's
club?
Awesome.
Oh, the club is
I'm a
so
huge
cool.
fan of the club.
I know
Yeah,
people
I'm a
thought the rave room was cool in the underground, and it is. But the floor in the club is a bit ridiculous, guys. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
There's the car wash.
All right, so let's go through the car
Little-
wash. Apparently, I'm playing, right?
So,
Peter,
so alerts can happen in any
Peter,
number of these locations,
You got my lower third up.
which is nice.
Yeah, you might have an alert that tells you to come and that AI are kind of taking over this location. So you'll have this kind of big fight in this particular POI and up on the roofs of this building. But then the next time you come here, you might, say, be protecting a Shade Tech terminal in that nightclub.
Cool.
Yep.
That's really cool. Sorry, I just got to tell Peter one thing. Peter, if you type, it'll hotkey to certain things. So don't type on that machine. That'd be cool. But I see what you mean. So yeah, I see people in chat talking about the bag size is 500. Again, development build. There will not be 500 size bags in the game. That's just for our
Sorry,
testing
guys.
purposes. Sorry, guys. All right, are we headed to the club?
Item management on a 500 size bag.
Yeah. Right. All right. This is cool. No, this area looks awesome, guys. I'm
Thank you.
so excited about what you guys have put out. Very, very cool.
One thing we really tried to push, LD-wise, is the fact that these spaces are really connected, right? Like he was in the car wash, seamlessly went up onto the rooftops. There's multiple ways to hit this nightclub, but you can kind of pick and choose where you want to go, right? And the AI are going to spawn around you, depending on the routes you take.
Oh,
Nice.
get in the club, yo.
Go now. Oh yeah.
I expect to see
Yeah, go check
many
out the floor.
gifs
It's so cool.
of people emoting in the club.
It's an aquarium.
Dude, that floor is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
The art staff crushed it.
My first thought when I saw that, and I asked Tony, I was like, how expensive is that floor? Or have you guys done some absolute magic trickery? What's going on there?
We have an amazing tech art staff that we're able to provide the magic required for something like that, and to still have the factions and the AI spawning. I salute them. They crushed it.
That's crazy. That's really cool. It looks awesome.
Thank you.
So something cool I want to point out here is like they moved through that nightclub. Now they're a little bit further north.
Yeah.
And so they've been given a new objective in the northern, more northern section of the map, right? To like push them to a new location to help them explore further.
Yeah. Tony actually brought up this yesterday, Terry, and I wanted to talk about it with you because you said that you would be much better to talk about it. But this area, I think we're going into the park here. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, DeWitt Park.
So there's obviously a lot of visual storytelling going on as well. Or maybe not obvious, because it's, you know, not really what a lot of people look at. But there's like a mass grave up here, right?
There sure is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, not cool. Mass graves aren't cool, but...
yeah, but I feel you, dog.
Yeah, you got me.
Well, it ties in a lot to a lot of the lore of the Dark Zone, right? Obviously, you'll see a lot of body vaults in the Dark Zone. You'll recognize that
Yeah.
for those players that go to the Dark Zone. And this happens to be right on the route, the delivery route that they were taking bodies out of the Dark Zone and initially burying them here properly, as opposed to some of the improper burial that you saw in DZ North, when eventually they just started dumping bodies. So this was sort of the beginning of, hey, we're going to treat this nicely. We're going to respect the dead. And then obviously the collapse continued and hell broke loose.
Yeah, this is before it's completely out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like ground zero for zombies?
Sure, you said it, not me.
No, sorry, I mean, I say that sometimes, but it's honestly, yeah, never gonna happen, guys, never.
Nope.
Someone in chat saying this is really New York. Actually, one of the buildings that I saw was like that sale building. I don't know,
Yeah.
that might be on our list of things to look at today, but that's basically 100% accurate, right?
Yeah, that is. That's always our goal with, you know, with the division is to make it real, so players can visit these locations just like they do in real life, as real as possible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have to
Legal pending.
do a couple of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's all there. It's all there. We wanted to treat it with as much respect as we've been doing this whole time.
Awesome. There's also this. I think this might be the area. No, I saw yesterday when I was looking around the cleaners kind of base that they have up here, where there's the depot, their production line. Is that on the list of places we're going to look at today?
Yeah, we're getting close to that. This is kind of the outskirts of that area. So when they move a little more north, I think we'll check that out.
Someone's using the showstopper.
Oh.
Nice.
That building is actually one of my favorite ones. That's another real place in New York where the building goes around the street, right? Like cars, a main street drives straight through the middle of the building, and we were able to kind of recreate that. It's pretty cool.
So I think the guys are still heading north. That's cool.
Yeah, so like, I don't want to hit this point too hard, but like that guy there up on the roof of the car that kind of ambushed them, I've never seen that guy there. He's totally spawned to give them a new challenge.
Can you go a little bit into that, how that system works? Tony tried to explain it to me a little bit. I mean, I found it super interesting, so I guess I want to see how you guys explain it and see if it's just as interesting.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, basically what it's doing is we have a bunch of behind-the-scenes tuning we can do, right, to try to create different paces of gameplay for the players, different AI combinations. But we're filling it with possibilities, and then based on where the player is, it's spawning unique engagements each time. So it's based on, you know, the player's line of sight, where they are, what kind of smart spawn locations there are to place an enemy at, and then there's a whole budget system that's kind of tracking how much AI budget is there to spawn? How many AI can I spawn right now? How difficult can I make this combat for players, right? Yeah. So when you're playing Resistance, it has a lot more room to make things very challenging for you. When you go do the alerts, it's more challenging than this. So we can kind of fine-tune and craft gameplay while still keeping it really replayable because it's different every time.
That was the huge push, was the dynamic nature of it, the fact that it's going to be different every time you play. Anytime you step into West Side Pier, you're going to have a different experience, whether that's the different alerts, different AI structures. Everything's going to be different. We didn't want it to be stale at all.
Perfect.
And it works.
This was the,
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, this was a cleaner production line that I was talking about earlier. They just kind of walked past it. If people took a look at it, you can kind of see the progression of what the cleaners have been doing here. It's really cool.
Yeah, there is a narrative storyline happening in West Side Pier, and some of that is exposed and talk about how the factions have arrived and what they're doing here.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the cleaners have been doing, or is that something you want to keep?
Hey, that's, you know, as kind of a story guy, I'd love for players to discover it, but
Okay, no, I'm fine with that.
they're all I don't want to say driving like they're driving their trucks, but all the factions are driving here for a specific reason, and that's as much as I'll go into.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm excited to find out what the reason is. I legit don't know. So I'm going to have to go through these audio logs myself, which would be really cool. All right. Oh, I'm so glad we got some nighttime in here. This looks incredible, guys.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, the art team crushed it.
Yeah, they continue to push the boundaries of what is possible, and as far as propping and composition and stuff, they're world tier, man. It's amazing.
Guys, yeah, there are some FPS drops in this build. This hasn't been optimized. Like I said earlier, this is a dev build, so there are a lot of unoptimized things in there. So do not worry, that is on our list of things to do. But we wanted to make sure that we show you where we're at, because I think that's really important.
Right.
I'd love to get to the point where we can show you white box stuff, but
oh man,
not,
great.
not today. Not today. Guys, why didn't you put textures on anything?
We just forgot.
Oh, we just forgot. Oh, no textures. Oh. All right, so there are, what are those activities called? I saw a couple of them on the map earlier. Where you have the waves of enemies coming in.
Yeah, so those are the alerts. So if you look like on their mission tracker right now, they have an alert that's unauthorized access, and so their goal right now is to reach the area, and then the objective will kind of update as it pulls you through it. This one in particular is, well, we'll see when we get here in just a second, but it's kind of a defend sequence.
We know, because those sequences are quite long, right? We're not gonna have time to go through those today because they are quite massive.
These particular alerts can be, I wouldn't say they're all terribly long, but they're a huge pace changer from the normal flow as you move around West Side Pier.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're kind of pushing them to be, around the neighborhood of 3 to 5 minutes of really heightened combat, and really kind of continuously mix up the pace of just the West Side Pier's experience.
Guys, that wasn't a pun. I used massive in the sense not close to the studio.
It's all right.
I should have said Redstone. I'm sorry.
That's funny.
Again, we don't have a release date for this yet, guys. We wanted to show you some early stuff, but we'll be showing you more. There's a lot coming in 1.8. People may have noticed on the map that sometimes there's D-Tech outside the dark zone. What is up? What is up with that?
Yep, D-Tech is the long forgotten resource in the game, and we wanted to make it important again. So
Okay.
there's a new way that we're going to allow players to optimize their gear, and it's going to use D-Tech.
Okay. I think.
Alongside some other resources, but yeah.
Okay.
D-Tech is going to be super useful again.
Okay. Good. So,
We
are
understand.
you saying that people should stockpile D-Tech? Is that?
I'm just saying it's going to be used in 1.8.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's up to them.
But we'll have information on exactly how and what and where and why at some point, but that's not a today thing.
Right on.
All right.
Yeah, we're very cognizant of the fact that not everyone enjoys the dark zone, and right now that's the only place you can get D-Tech, so this was perfect.
Yep. Dark Zone's still going to be a good place for you to go farm and get your D-Tech. I mean, we all remember kind of doing those DTech runs early in the life of the game. That was like a nightly activity, man. It was fun.
I'm
so
very fond of that.
Yeah, pulling some of that back, but also giving you a really great alternate method here in the West Side Piers for players who just want PvE.
I see already people in chat saying like, I completely forgot about DTech. Crazy.
Yeah. All right, so they've completed their West Side Piers alert.
Nice.
They got some loot. All the loot here is obviously placeholder.
Yeah.
And look, they got 5 division tech and some target intel.
That's handy.
Okay. All right. There are also in the underground is something that you will see changes to in 1.8 as well, guys. I've seen some people in chat talking about it. That's not something we're going to be talking about today. That's Reflections are working on that one, so we'll have to get Reflections on to chat about that. But there's some really exciting changes to the underground, so we'll get there.
Sure is.
Yeah, big time.
But yeah, is there anything else you guys want to show off before we wind this up?
You know, I mean, there's a ton more POIs and stuff that we could kind of go through and kind of little subsystems. Like, I think there's some neat things in here, like every, 15 to 20 minutes, you're given a new West Side Piers assignment. So this is something different than the daily assignment. There's more variety to them, but it's just little sub-combat goals, right? So we're trying to kind of layer your activities and really make this just a fun place to have some dynamic PvE. So you might get one that's kill 15 enemies with your sidearm, and the next one might be kill 20 enemies within 10 meters. And they're just these little sub goals that push you to play differently, and it's pretty it's nice. And you can also complete them during resistance.
Yeah, all the pacing, everything's layered to be paced properly, and as you probably saw, you get field proficiency here. So it's a constant loop of reward and feeling good and accomplishment, and help you work towards, maybe your DTech goals, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're really trying to push these different loops. So you might come out here and do dynamic West Side Piers content for a while in order to get division tech, to use the new optimization station, to improve your gear, to get back in resistance, and it just kind of keeps you in the game playing, progressing your character.
Awesome.
You guys should have helped that civilian. There's a commendation for that. help 10 civilians, so you can't just pass that up.
I went out and helped my 10 civilians.
Nice. So we'll hang out for a few minutes and just let these guys walk around, and I'll take some questions from chat. Obviously, yes, there are currently issues with some 1.7 things that we talked about earlier, the RPM glitch and those sorts of things. If you want to know what we were talking about a little bit earlier, you can go back in the stream and check that out. We didn't have a chance to go over what's happening with leaderboards and masks for Global Event 2, did we? We kind of jumped straight in.
Okay.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
We did?
We jumped right in, and we can talk about leaderboards and masks.
Yeah.
We made the decision to take masks off of leaderboards. We know that they're awesome looking, and everybody wants them, and so generally speaking, masks will be tied to the playlist commendations in the global event, and one will be relatively easy to get, and the others will be more difficult, maybe requiring group play, maybe not, but the leaderboards will still exist.
Cool.
There'll still be rewards associated with the leaderboards, but the masks themselves are going to be pulled off of the leaderboards.
That's awesome. So those, from what I saw, the leaderboards will give out classified caches. Is that correct?
That's correct.
We're going to keep that moving forward. We really liked how that played with people maybe who were close to completing a set. They collect their leaderboard classified cache, and maybe it's that piece that completed it for them and rounded out their global event experience. So that will continue forward, but the hot, new masks are available to everyone if they complete these commendations.
Right. They're pretty difficult.
I see someone else bringing up...
Some of them are pretty difficult.
Someone else is bringing up is their new hipfire. I think they've noticed in the gameplay build that we're running right now. It looks a bit different.
We have made some adjustments to hipfire. That's correct.
Yes. Wow. There are a number of balance changes, coming with 1.8, right?
Okay.
One of the big ones is definitely a rework to hipfire, and that it plays into wanting to continue getting more competitive PvP for skirmish, and also just kind of improve the overall experience to the game. So we are a cover shooter. We want to make hipfire viable, but not the end-all be-all. So some things that are changing is you'll see the reticle is gone while hip firing. And also some of your aiming speeds are a little closer to your ADS down the scope speeds. So it just kind of, tightens up the experience and makes it feel a little more tactical.
That's cool. Is this?
We wanted to make we just wanted to make it so someone that's hip firing doesn't force you to hip fire because of the advantages hip fire had before.
Okay. So is this kind of going to that whole chicken dance discussion that that a lot of people are bringing up? Yeah.
It is a big part of the chicken dance for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. The other thing I've seen people, now I've lost it. The chat's moving so quickly. I'll try and grab it soon.
Go chat.
Sorry about that, guys.
Go chat, go.
Slow down.
Go chat, go.
Here it is. New rogue system? Question mark?
Yes, we have also made a number of changes to Rogue. We'll give all the details about that later, but kind of as a high line, we've always wanted to give the Rogue a more rewarding loop, right? That means, going rogue and manhunt and stuff like that. So,
but also for the hunters.
Yeah, not hunters, the AI, but people that hunt rogues.
People who hunt rogues.
Okay,
So
wow.
there are
Be careful.
extensive changes to the rogue system.
All right, that's great. We'll probably have to go in depth on the rogue system.
Oh yeah.
At some point, not today.
It deserves its own call.
Yeah, it's its own thing.
But we could probably spend a good 30 minutes to an hour just chatting about it. Well, probably a lot longer, but we'll have to keep it digestible
Yep.
for another day. Maybe that could be a long-form podcast. Why don't we could actually just see if that could be something we do in another format. Anyway, I'm just spitballing. We could see what we do with that. But yes, rogue changes.
Get me on a plane, baby. I'll be.
The people are asking resistance and skirmish. We will not be showing those today. You will see them in the coming weeks, but just not today. We have time. There is no release date for 1.8. I see another question here. Is there weapon balance in 1.8?
There is a continued push for better weapon balance, absolutely.
Okay.
We're making some targeted adjustments to some of the exotic weapons. We're improving LMGs and kind of making them more viable. And we're also reworking some of the weapon bonuses, like plus flat weapon damage is getting replaced with a percentage of weapon damage to kind of promote guns with lower RPMs.
Great. So Savage Gloves with
low RPM.
All right, awesome. Oh, that's great. People are going to be very happy about that, I'm sure. I mean, I haven't even seen chat. But they're going to be happy about that one. I guarantee it.
Go chat.
Very cool.
There are a lot of, I think, really quality balanced improvements coming with this patch.
You're biased.
Yeah.
Well, just saying.
He's right though, because we still play the game and we still hear all of you and agree with you. So
I just saw that Yannick opened one of the caches and it had a level 1 something. Perfect. Nailed it.
Beautiful.
Dev build. Hashtag dev build.
Working as intended.
Hashtag. Yep.
Perfect. I love it. It's so great. Obviously, there are a lot of classified gear sets that haven't been released yet. There will be some before 1.8, and there will be some after 1.8, which will obviously be part of the landscape as we go forward. Yes, there will be new ones.
Part of the global event.
Yeah, I'm very excited about some of those new ones. Will there be new commendations in 1.8?
Let's just say there's a lot to test on this PTS.
Yes. We don't have a PTS date either. I see people asking about the PTS. We will get there. We don't have that yet.